Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crypt13, and in today's video, I want to give you guys an honest review on Xiao. So his banner is coming to an end real soon here as we get into the update 1.3, and a rerun banner for Xiao is probably very far into the future. So if you're gonna pull for him, it's now or it's never. And in this video, I want to try to give my honest review on him after all three parts of the videos where I gave you guys all the facts. This video is going to be my personal opinion on whether or not I think he's good and whether you should pull for him. So I think that Xiao is one of the more fun characters in this game. I think that Beidou is the most fun character. She's my top 1 character in this game, but Xiao is a really close second. Plunge attack spam is pretty fun, and it's a pretty nice plunging attack because it doesn't launch them away for the most part. It pretty much just launches them up, so you can continue to spam them without worrying about them getting out of your range. I mean, eventually they do get out of range, but for the most part, they'll probably be dead by the time that happens. He also really easily stagger locks tons and tons of different kinds of enemies. Hilly churls, mid churls, pyro agents, assistant mages. He can stagger lock all of them with his plunging attacks. So that's why plunging attacks is so fun, is because they have like no chance to hit you back. You just get to go unga bunga. The next thing is that I think he has some of the coolest animations in this game. His auto attack combo is really cool, and again, his plunging attack has the most unique animation when he's in his burst because it's got a bunch of spears coming out of the ground. And then also, I think his design is just really cool. It's minimalistic, but at the same time, it's really cool looking. I think the demon mask is a really nice touch, and the asymmetry, he has a little shoulder spike on his arm. I think it's all really cool. And then if you do play this game in Japanese, he's got a pretty damn good voice actor. This is not to say that his English voice actor is bad or any other language is bad, but the Japanese voice actor, I think, is pretty much second to none. Another thing that makes him so fun is his E skill. On the surface, it seems kind of simple, but I mentioned this in one of my earlier videos, but you can hit max stacks with this if you space it out well enough. Not only that, but lining up your E skill so that you hit multiple enemies instead of just brainlessly double tapping your E skill, I think is a lot more fun. His unique combo, I think, is also pretty fun to pull off. I mentioned that in my other video. It's the one where he does a charge attack, he jumps, he does an E skill, and then does a plunging attack. It's pretty cool, and it's pretty fun to do. And the last thing that I think that makes him so fun is that he can use lots of different artifact builds. He's not completely constrained to the 2-piece Venerer and the 2-piece Gladiator, unlike most other characters who are pretty much just locked into their 2-piece Elemental set and then 2-piece Gladiator, or the 4-piece sets. I think Xiao can have a lot of fun just messing around with different kinds of artifact sets. Like, for example, I'm having a ton of fun with a freeze comp build and putting on the Blizzard Strayer set on him to give him tons and tons of crit rate, along with tons and tons of crit damage with like really low investment where my artifacts aren't really that great. So I'm having lots of fun with that build. And there's kind of a satisfaction in just plunging frozen enemies. I don't know why, but it just feels fun to do it. And in the current Spiral Abyss right now, floor 12 of the Abyss, as of patch 1.2, has so many opponents on it on the first side for you to just spam your plunging AoE attacks. It's pretty much just made for Xiao to go ham. So not only do I think that this character is really fun, but he does pretty big damage for a character that can't really utilize any elemental reactions, specifically melt and vaporize. So even though he can't utilize that, he can still achieve pretty big numbers with free-to-play weapons. I think that's pretty cool. It doesn't really match the likes of Ganyu, but it's still pretty good. A caveat though is that he kind of only does these big numbers when he's in his burst, and if you don't have any energy recharge or an animo battery, then it's kind of hard to keep it up. Which kind of leads to my next point, is that he's expensive. In order to make Xiao work, you kind of have to level up at least 2 of his talents, and that's going to be his normal attack talent and his burst. So that's going to cost a lot of resources. Unlike, of course, Ganyu on the other hand, you really only need to level up 1 talent. I'm kind of gushing about Ganyu, but that's kind of the facts, that Ganyu is so cheap and she's able to do a lot of damage with that cheapness. A lot of his best teammates are also 5 stars. However, this is probably going to be a common pattern as we go into the future of this game because 5 stars are just, really that good. Prime examples of his good teammates are Zhongli and Jean. Zhongli giving him shield so that he doesn't need to worry about getting hurt while he's spamming his plunge attacks. And the extra elemental debuffs is super nice, and you don't have to switch back into Zhongli to keep that up. But of course, this is just pretty much good for any character. And then Jean works as a great Animo battery as well as a healer, so she kind of fills both roles for him. But don't get me wrong here, he still does have good 4-star teammates as well, but his 5-star counterparts are just better. They work, but just not as well as his 5-star counterparts. And of course, this is not to say that he isn't free-to-play friendly, he's just not as free-to-play friendly as some of the other 5 stars in the game. And then the last thing I kind of want to mention about him is that he is very much crit rate reliant. That means Xiao can't really do big numbers unless he hits those crits. So this means that we have to get very lucky with our substats or use a weapon with crit rate on it. So I mean, we pretty much have to start praying to RNGesus for those substats, and we all know how that turns out, getting 2 defense and 2 HP substats every time. I keep on bringing up Ganyu, but she's like the prime example of just like the best free-to-play cheap character. Her passives give her extra crit rate, and then her ascension bonus is crit damage, so just all of that is just completely built into her. So at really low investments, she is doing lots and lots of crit damage. But when it comes to Xiao, you're gonna have to get lucky with those substats. So should you roll for Xiao? Well, I think that he is not a must-pull, but if you were excited for him from the beginning, then you have nothing to fear because he is not disappointing at all. In fact, I think he is really, really good, but of course he's just not super overwhelming. He is basically just right for a 5-star in my opinion. So basically, if you like him, then yeah, you should pull him, and if you don't, then don't pull for him. I think that this is pretty much the mantra for anything in this game, but sometimes it just has to be said. Sometimes people just want the best character without really liking the design of the character. But that's pretty much my final thoughts on Xiao. Honestly, that's probably my thoughts on every character on this game. If you like their design, you should pull for them because you can definitely bring them up to levels where they start doing big damage. And if you don't worry about missing out because you aren't. Save those primogems for a character that you really, really like so that you can really, really enjoy the game. This has pretty much been my honest review on Xiao. He's got his pros, he's got his cons, pretty much like every other character. And with that said, I am super excited for a potential Hu Tao banner coming after Kaching's banner in 1.3. Total speculation, but I really hope she does come because I've been doing tons of research on her and I am super excited to share everything I've learned about her. So stay tuned guys, and I will see you later.